Jalen Green goes off against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Denver Nuggets fall to the 4th spot in the Western Conference. We're going to talk about all that and more on a jam-packed NBA Friday night on NBA Game Night.
When that final buzzer rings, you know it's time for Locked On NBA Game Night. All the post-game reactions to every game across the league, every single night, with insights only the hosts at Locked On can provide. It's the true NBA fans' one stop for all the action. Every game, every night. It's Locked On NBA Game Night. Tipping off now.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On NBA Game Night. I am Hayes, one of the hosts of Locked On Bulls, and I'm joined by Swiper, as I am every single Friday night, one of the hosts of Locked On Nuggets. How you doing, Swiper?
I'm good, bro. Man, nice full NBA night.
That's a fact. Today's episode is brought to you guys by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Let's get to the first game tonight on the docket, Swiper. And the Rockets over the Thunder, 125-111. Jalen Green goes off for 34 points. Alperen Şengün for 30. Jalen Green has 34 points. Şengün has 31 points. And they broke Oklahoma City's 11-game winning streak. How you feeling about the Rockets here? I know there's been a lot of conversation on if they're a legitimate threat to come out the West, or is there youth or a lack of score going to stop them from being able to go further in the playoffs? How you feeling?
Well, I mean, they got a good win today, and this is basically helping them solidify that second seed, which is obviously really important for them. I think for a team this young, you want to have as many advantages as possible going into the playoffs. We're 4, 5, some teams 6 games away from the playoffs, and really just started to play in. And the West is so muddy from 3 to 8 that you want to be out of the fray as much as possible. They had a losing streak this year. They had a winning streak right after that. And now they've kind of settled in. They have been, I think the best way to describe the Western Conference this year is OKC's been the best team in the league. And I think the Rockets have been the team with the least amount of lulls in the Western Conference outside of OKC. That might be the best way to describe them, is that they've reached their floor more often than the other teams that are underneath them that I think are arguably better. But the thing is right now, man, they came out today, they played aggressive. Amin Thompson looks special. Shout out, bro. Like, he's been an amazing defender this year. He's probably going to make an all-NBA team defensively, just depends on where. But he has 16, 8, and 6 tonight. And then you get Alperen Şengün, 31 points, 4 assists for Alpi. And especially for a dude that hasn't shot super well from around the rim or the paint, he was going at Chet Holmgren today and iHeart. And he got a crazy dunk spin off of Chet Holmgren today. Just a really, really good, dominant game from him. And then you get Jalen Green, man, like 34 points for Jalen Green, 4 rebounds and 5 assists. And y'all, one of the other things too, man, they started their double big lineup, and their double big lineup is not nothing to play with. Their double big lineup is actually like one of the main features of their offense. They're turning the clock back to the 2000s by having 2 non-floor spacers on the court together. But the thing is, they get so many rebounds, and defensively, they're so good because they prevent so many issues in terms of just around the basket scoring, and they get every defensive rebound possible. And so if you only get one shot versus them, and on the other end, they're creating 1, 2, or 3 advantages for themselves at one field goal opportunity at a time, man. Like, they're just they played OKC very well today, and this is probably the most outmatched OKC has looked probably since they lost the Denver game just a few weeks ago when Denver went crazy from the 3-point line. But shout out to Houston Rockets, man. Like, honestly, this is one of the best stories of the NBA season.
Absolutely, and I know a lot of people count them out, but like as you really can't put a ceiling on them, a cap on them yet, because you just don't know what they're going to do. I know typically younger teams, they fail first and they learn from it, but this team is so good defensively. Like, they're so good defensively that they're going to be a terror for any team that has to go up against them in the 7-game series, and we'll see where that's going to go for them. But the Rockets, amazing team, great story for them this year. Can't wait to see what they're going to be like going forward, because a lot of their players still have tons of room to get better, and we'll watch that over time as well. The Clippers Swiper in this one, 114-91 over the Dallas Mavericks. Kawhi Leonard with 20 points. Zubac with 14 points and 13 rebounds as well. Norman Powell with 14 points. James Harden with 13. The Clippers' depth and the way that this team has played, even without having Kawhi Leonard, having Kawhi now back on that team, and if he's able to stay healthy, Are the Clippers a legitimate threat to come out the West? Or do you think they're just going to be one of those teams that's going to be a tough out in the West, and they're not really going to make it to a conference finals?
Well, I think the hard part, man, is like every Western Conference team has an identity. Like, they all have something that makes them really good. And the Clippers are no stranger to that. James Harden, Zubac, and Kawhi Leonard, that's their trio. And they are very good. Like that unit between them, they're really good defensively, and their offensive ceiling can also get to a certain place because of James Harden's playmaking, Kawhi Leonard's shot making. And if he's healthy, Kawhi's going to be one of the best players in the playoffs again. Like you even just watch the game, he's getting to his spots. He's comfortable. He's like finding a good motion and rhythm out on the court. So I love how they're playing. But in terms of making it out the West, man, like, or even just getting to the conference finals, like there's just, they're going to be matched if they struggle with the Lakers are going to have something for them. The Nuggets are going to have something for them. Even just like the Golden State Warriors, who we'll talk about here in a little bit, like they're all really good. And if you have a bad shooting night, too many times in the NBA playoff setting, you're going to be down 0-1, 0-2, 0-3 real quick. So I don't know if their ceiling is as high as every team ahead of them, but honestly, like James Harden plays really well to the first round or something like that. You never know.
Yeah, the Mavericks, we know that they've been playing better. They're up to the 9th seed now. There's been more talk now about once Kyrie is able to be healthy, if he's able to stay healthy, what this team could be next year. Having Gafford and those centers there with AD, and actually him being able to play the 4. Do you think that we kind of judge what that ceiling of that Mavericks team is too soon, or do you think this is going to be a team that it could win some games, but is more so next year than this year, but really can't do much next year either?
Well, no, I mean, they can. I think even this year, like if Anthony Davis is there, they're going to be a tough out in a play-in. They're just in a really bad spot. They have so many players that I think are good. But the issue is, it's just they don't have their identity intact because no Kyrie, and then with Anthony Davis, they're going to lack the outside shot making. So now they're relying on Spencer Dinwiddie and like Jalen Hardy. Like that's a lot. Like that's just too much to ask of players in that tier. But look, man, like they're a tough, physical, defensively inclined team. If they were healthy this year, they would still push some people. Like honestly, but next year, get healthy. I don't know when Kyrie's going to be back. They could put themselves in contender status. I mean, they're that good.
Yeah, really, like the Kyrie thing, because he's probably, I think the last thing I read is that he may not be back until December next year. So it's like, because in the West, you can get yourself out to a deficit early, and it's kind of, it's hard to come back from if you have that, like if AD's healthy, if Lively's healthy, neither one played in this game, and you have everybody else healthy. I don't know what their like cap situation is on if they have enough room to use their mid-level exception next year or whatever, but like you can see this team being a really good team in the West. But also you can see it just being another season where injuries and everything just keep them from reaching their potential. Still, it would be nice if they had a 25-year-old perennial MVP candidate, but that's a story for another day there.
Yep. Well, they decided they didn't want him no more.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Do you think they're going to make it through this offseason with keeping both Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford? Do you think one of those guys is going to be on the move?
That's tough. If you can find an upgrade, maybe at the playmaking spot, they got rid of Quentin Grimes too. So if you could get something for Gafford, I think that would be worthwhile. But again, Anthony Davis, Lively, and Gafford are all injury prone. So you kind of need all three of them in order just to function and stay afloat. And honestly, with the way the league is, Hayes, if the league is going to be more focused on like having centers that even though they're not like offensive options, if they're vertical spacers and they can find out how to play an in-between game a little bit, it's important you have them on the roster because you even look at like OKC with iHeart. Like iHeart does a lot of things really well, but Steven Adams, Alperen Şengün, like they're dominating their minutes together this year. You look at Zach Edey, look at JJJ, they're playing really well together at times. So maybe that's the wave of the future, like having as many bigs as possible. That way your interior defense is as dynamic as you can possibly have it.
I guess we'll see. I mean, it's up to the Dallas Mavericks and Nico Harrison to figure that thing out, ain't it? Because who knows what that team's going to look like. Clippers are a really, really good team. I've been really impressed with the Clippers today. I don't know how often you turn into the daily version of Locked On NBA, but like I had a running joke early in the season because I don't like Clipper fans, but I like a lot of pieces of the team. But yeah, it's hard to hate on them. They're a really good team when healthy. So we'll see what they bring to the table next season. But next up, we're going to continue the conversation. We're going to talk about the Warriors versus Nuggets. Swiper's going to get to talk about his team and fortunately a loss there. But first, we got to get some message from a couple of our sponsors. Daylight savings snuck up on us again. If you're feeling that lost hour of sleep, 5-hour energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost of power to get through. Whether you're staying up late, watching the NCAA tournament, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just keeping up with your busy day, 5-hour energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick me up whenever you need it. Don't let the long days wear you out. 5-hour energy helps you stay sharp, focused, whether you're catching every moment of the tournament, getting outside for a hike, or tackling a packed schedule. It's small, convenient, and ready whenever you are. Head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors, including watermelon, blue raspberry, peach mango. Build your own 12-pack or 24-pack delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab a 5-hour energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. Stock up today and stay energized. Also got to talk to you guys about Wayfair. Spring is here, and that means it's home project season. Whether you're refreshing a room or tackling a full renovation, Wayfair is the best kept secret for all things home improvement. From small updates like stylish cabinet hardware to major upgrades like new vanity sink or outdoor lighting, Wayfair has quality products for every budget. I just updated my sunroom, which I built from the scratch, and the selection was incredible. Their free and fast shipping made it so easy. No hauling heavy items from the store. I love that they have top brands like GE, Moen at great prices. Shopping was seamless, and I found exactly what I needed to fit my space and style. Wayfair makes home improvement easy. Get started now at wayfair.com. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. More Locked On Game Night coming up next. All right. Always trying to put our teams off, so I'm not favoring our teams, but we do got to talk about this Nuggets game.
Favoring mid is crazy.
Hey, come on now, man. With that said, the Warriors over the Nuggets, 118-104. The Denver Nuggets do fall to fourth here. Stephen Curry had 36 points today. Kamenetsky had 26 as well, and Jimmy Butler had 19. How you feeling about this game?
Yeah, I mean, this is the Warriors' first win versus Denver since 2022, since right before the NBA playoffs started, actually, the year the Warriors won the title. So this is the win they earned, man. Like, Podziemski played well today. He was sniping, made some really important shots. He had 26 points. Steph had his best performance versus Denver, perhaps since the 2022 playoffs, with 36 points, 7 of 15 from three tonight. He looked really good. Jimmy Butler, though, man, like, what people don't, if you didn't watch the game, in the first quarter, y'all, it looked like Jokic was about to have another 60-10-10 game. He had 15 points in the first quarter. He was 6 of 8 from the field, and he was going to work. And he was making, like, turnover to shoulders, headsy fades, get to the basket, finger rolls. And they were up 44-34 at the end of the first quarter. And literally the second unit for Denver came in. Russell Westbrook, Jalen Pickett, Vlatko Cancar, Michael Porter Jr., and Zeke Naji. They scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points in 7.5 minutes before Joker came back into the game. And by that point, the lead has shrunk to 1, and everything changed from that point on, and the Golden State Warriors started rolling. The Warriors, they look like a team that looks like it can win the Western Conference possibly if things go right. Steph continues to play at the amazing level he's playing at. In the month of April, he's been going nuts. He's averaging 40 points a game basically on super high efficiency. And then you get the play you're getting from Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. But on the other end of that, the Denver Nuggets, Jokic, another great game, 33 points, I think 12 rebounds, 9 assists, and 2 steals today. 91 true shooting, and it meant nothing. The Nuggets are lost, and now Jamal Murray didn't play for context, so that obviously matters. But the Nuggets, man, they just they're putting themselves in a situation where they could be facing a run into the play-in. They got 4 more games left, 4 more playoff teams left. They're a half a game behind the Lakers for the 3 seed. And so they're going to have to take care of business if they want to get back into that 3 seed, or maybe they're comfortable being at the 4 or 5. But a lot of people, if you ask Hayes, the people around Denver, media around Denver, everybody feels frustration and everybody feels downtrodden with the fact that this team still hasn't yet pushed 50 wins this season, given the fact that Joker is having his best year ever. Mm-hmm. I think that just shows how deeply flawed the roster has been over the course of this season.
Do you think is there a chance that the Denver Nuggets do anything crazy in this offseason to make some drastic change to their roster?
Yeah, I mean, of course, they're going to have to, especially if things are trending the way that I think they're trending, which is, I mean, you're out in the second round, and that's back-to-back round 2 exits, when you have Jokic at the apex of his powers. They don't have enough defenders. The defenders on the roster this year haven't played well enough, and Brown and Aaron Gordon. Michael Porter Jr. is just, I think, his offense isn't offsetting like the defensive woes and stuff right now. And then the bench is non-existent. I mean, off the bench is Jalen Pickett and Peyton Watson today, who I think is a really good player, mostly good defender. Then you got Zeke Naji. They don't have any scoring off the bench. They don't have any ball handling for real off the bench, and they don't have a big off the bench. And as you know, with the Chicago Bulls, like if you can't put like a full unit of 8 to 9 guys together on a court that can help you win, it puts you in a really bad bind. And Boston had it, the Thunder have it, Cleveland have it, the Lakers have it to a degree. I think the Clippers have it this year with Bogey and others and Norm and them coming off the bench. The Nuggets, they're just a very, very thin team outside their top 5.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be something that comes back and hurts them in the playoffs. That 4-5 matchup, if it stays there, which the West is in such flux that it can change drastically night to night. And so, it's going to come down the wire here before we know exactly what the Western Conference seeding is. But if it does come down to you guys versus the Warriors in that first round, do you feel confident you could beat the Warriors?
Yeah, I mean, I've said this before, they are well built to beat the Warriors. I think today was an aberration given the last 3 years of this team, especially how they play. And like I said, in the first quarter, they were cooking. But here's the problem, man. Like the Nuggets had 25, 26 turnovers today. That can't happen. Like that's just too much. So Murray has to play. Murray has to shot make. And Murray, Gordon, and Porter have to stabilize the Nuggets in the non-Jokic minutes. That's going to be one of the most important things. But shout out, bro. Like, Hayes, if Steph and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green and Pods and Kuminga and them are going to show up, it could get real ugly in the Western Conference for sure.
That's for sure. We'll see how that goes. Next up, the Celtics 123 over the Suns 103. But before we talk about it, we're going to get to one of these shorts from John Corrales.
Boston Celtics cruise to this win here over the Phoenix Suns at TD Garden. They had a 23-4 run that spanned the first quarter into the second quarter, and that's where they kind of broke a one-point game into a 20-point game, and it was elementary from there. The lead ebbed and flowed, but the Celtics were never really in any sort of trouble. Jaylen Brown, even with the knee issue that he's dealing with, 31 points on 10 of 16 shooting. A really obviously monster night, and it looks like he's trying to figure out how to play on that knee. His explosion isn't quite there. The athleticism isn't quite where it is normally for Jaylen Brown, but it looks like he's starting to figure it out. Of course, playing against the Phoenix Suns is helpful. They are not a good team right now, obviously without KD, but it was still, you have to go out there and do it, and Jaylen did it. You got a nice 23-point, 8 rebound, 8 assist night from Jason Tatum. Derek White had a big fourth quarter and finished with 12 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists. Kind of an easy work here for Boston after that tough loss in their last game to Miami to get back on track here. And look, it's all elementary season-wise, but try to get this work in. And if Jaylen Brown is figuring out that knee, that's all good news for Boston.
Is it all elementary for Boston, as John Corrales alludes to there, Swiper?
Yeah, I mean, Boston, they're Boston. And this is tune-up time for Boston. They have been excellent the last month and a half. They look great. They look like a team that's playing together. They know what their business is about. Like they're trying to win another title. So they took care of business today. I think like Boston's playoff doesn't start till the second round. So whatever happens in the first round, they're going to have a couple games where they get pressed. But Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Kristoff, Derek White, Drew, Peyton Pritchard, Luke Cornett, Al Horford, Sam Hauser. Everything for them is about tune-up. It's about knowing what they're supposed to do, feeling good, feeling healthy, and then feeling like a team that's operating on all cylinders going into the playoffs. And tonight was another opportunity for them to do that. They dominated the Suns. They're just a much better team, much more well-coached team, and also a team with much more resolve and stuff as well. So just a great, great game. But also Devin Booker, shout out 37 points, 15 of 29 from the field. He tried to carry and do his job, but look, the Celtics are too much, man. And I think they should be they're probably going to be the favorite coming out of the East, respect to Cleveland, but just a great game for them.
Yeah, I mean the Boston Celtics is just they're such a sound team, and they're so good at just playing the math game in the NBA. They're so good at that part of it. Like, and if you can't overcome the math, it's going to be difficult to win the game. Then on top of that, they're a sound defensive team as well. But the Phoenix Suns have been such a struggle this year. Like, and you know they started off the season actually pretty well, and it's just been just a fall from there on. And you know that's going to be a franchise that has to ask themselves a lot of difficult decisions this offseason between like hearing that they may be open to extending KD or they could trade KD and or Devin Booker. Like we'll see what happens with that team in this offseason. They're going to be one of the more interesting ones to
You
watch.
want to talk about somebody that doesn't know how to end a relationship?
Man, listen, hold on. Like sometimes you just got to let it go. You
I'm
got to
letting
let
it
it go.
go. Nah, bro,
Yeah.
like, it's not going nowhere. Why would you stay here, Katie? Unless you like the city and you just want to be there. No, babe. We've been in a good year and a half. We thought we was gonna get married. You know what I mean? We made plans and everything, but you know, this isn't the best thing for you. It's not the best thing for me. It's time for us to part ways.
That's a fact. No, we're going to part ways into the
Hey,
next.
all about that.
We're going to finish off talking about NBA Friday night, but first, got to get some message from Open Phone. Running a small business means you wear a lot of hats. Your personal phone becomes your business phone. And before you know it, you're juggling customer calls day and night. And once your team starts growing, managing it all from one number, totally unrealistic. That's where Open Phone comes in, the number one business phone system designed to help you keep your work and personal life separate. For just $15 a month, the cost of a few coffees, you get a complete transparency and visibility into everything happening with your business phone number. Open Phone works through an app on your phone or computer and integrates with tools like HubSpot and hundreds of others. Plus, it uses AI powered call transcripts and summaries, so you'll have a rundown of your calls and action items the second you hang up. And if you miss a call, no worries. Automated messages go straight to your customer, so you never miss a chance to connect. Right now, OpenPhone is offering 20% off your first 6 months when you go to openphone.com/lockedonnba. That's openphone.com/lockedonnba. Openphone.com/lockedonnba. And if you got numbers with another service, they'll port them over at no charge. More game night coming up next. All right, let's catch up on these games. Swiper, we still got 6 more games to get into today. First one, the Los Angeles Lakers get a win over the Pelicans, 124-108. They now officially move to third in the Western Conference, and we have one of the Kamenetsky brothers to give their feelings on it here.
This is Zane Kamenetsky, co-host of the Locked on Lakers podcast, and the Lakers get a 124-108 win in LA over a very depleted New Orleans Pelicans. It took the Lakers really an entire half to start getting serious about this game, but once they did, they broke away from New Orleans, a combined 92 points from LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves. And in the case of Luka, the second half, 23 points on 7 of 9 shooting. Few step back threes were dropping, and hopefully this represents some rediscovered offensive rhythm and flow for Luka, who has been in a pretty big shooting slump, particularly from outside. 12 points for Dalton Connect off the bench, and JJ Redick may need to consider putting Dalton back into the rotation. He outscored the rest of the bench by himself, and points from the reserves have been an issue of late for the Lakers. For more Lakers coverage, make sure you're watching Locked on Lakers on YouTube and listening wherever you get your podcasts.
What do you think about that? Connect, who's kind of fallen out of the rotation at times, which is still kind of weird under JJ Redick. You think like that would be somebody that JJ really loves to play and can develop. But how do you view the Lakers here? And then what do you think about their depth heading into the playoffs?
I mean, they're not super deep. They're not super talented outside their top 3. And then they have 2 really good wings, really good wings. 2 good wings in DFS and Rui. Jackson is serviceable at times in certain contexts. Austin Reeves is a really good player. They have 3 all-star level players, I would argue. I think that's about it. I think they are trying to manufacture like an offense and a defense around those players. The Pelicans were giving them trouble the first half of the game. Some of that's because they were coming off a back-to-back. But I don't think the Lakers – I think that fans are a little higher on what the Lakers' actual ceiling is, I think, this year. But they still, like, they won. They're at the 3 seed. I think JJ deserves a lot of credit for how he's kind of reinvigorated this team, and especially given the fact that they don't have a true defensive anchor on the roster. They don't have an actual defensive anchor on the team. which is not a good sign for any team going forward. Like every team you can think about, from Evan Mobley with Cleveland, to Chet and iHeart and Dub or whoever with the Thunder, thinking about with Boston with Tatum and KP and Drew and White, Jaylen Brown, even the Rockets with, Amin Thompson, honestly. The Lakers don't have that. The Nuggets don't have that either. And I think that's a very precarious situation to be in, to try to beat somebody with offense consistently. But the Lakers are good. They earned another win. They're at the 3 seed, and we'll see if they can hold on to it the rest of the year.
I think the thing that concerns me the most is that when Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron are on the floor, they still have a negative net rating, despite those guys all playing individually pretty well. But that's something that they'll have to figure out. It's not just about this season with the Lakers anyway. It's really, they got Luka here. They're going to really try to mold the roster in different ways this offseason. I think whatever happens this year in the postseason for them is just an added plus to build chemistry, and they'll figure it out going forward. The next game that I want to get into, the Cavs, 114-113 over the Spurs. This was a game where Evan Mobley, I've been saying for a long time, Swiper, that to me in this playoffs, we already know what Donovan Mitchell could be. If the Cavs really want to go to the finals, if that's really what they're going to do this season, this has to be a postseason where somebody else has to become another star, whether that's Mitchell, whether that's Garland, or whether that's Evan Mobley, to match what we already know Mitchell can do. Evan Mobley's slowly been making that case, and I feel very confident about him as a two-way player right now. But how do you feel about the Cavs, and specifically, how do you feel about Evan Mobley really turning into a star in this year's playoffs?
Well, it looks like he might get might get end of the year pushed out for DPOY, which is interesting given how the year has gone. Evan's been really good this year. He was really effective tonight. Again, the Spurs are obviously out with their best player, but 25 points from Evan, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 blocks. I think he's going to be good. He was actually really good, even when D. Mitch was down and no Jared Allen versus the Celtics at times in that series in the second round last year. So I do think he'll have a really good moment. But here's the thing, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen's a play finisher. They got Max Cruz, they got Dean Wade, you got Sam Merrill, you got DeAndre Hunter. Again, what did we just talk about with Denver and with the Thunder? You got to have pieces that you can go to on your bench. And even if Evan Mobley needs assistance, especially when you need more shooting on the court with him, I think he'll have the talent around him to do that. So I think he's going to thrive come this playoffs.
Yeah, let's hope so, because I got a bet with my best friend. He's a Cavs fan, so there you go on that one. Let's move over to the next game. We got the Pacers 140 over the Jazz 112. We're gonna play. We got a message from Tony East from Locked On Pacers here.
Great for the Pacers in this basket tonight. They did not go so great in that basket. Thankfully, the great stuff right behind me was way better. Tony East here with Locked On Pacers. Pacers 83 points in the second half today as they score 140 and beat the Jazz in a game that was not pretty all the way. In fact, the Pacers were down 13 to the 16-win Jazz in the first half of this game. Their defense a little lifeless. Their offense just couldn't quite get to the rim. Ruddering in place. Third quarter, though, they upped things on both ends. Miles Turner was awesome. He finished with 6 blocks and was good on offense in the third. Pascal Siakam, one of his best defensive games of the season. Their guards got rolling. Benedict Mathurin had a big fourth quarter in his return from injury, and all of a sudden the Pacers were off and running. It shouldn't have been as challenging as it was for them tonight, but they found enough answers in that second half, and the Jazz getting to the end of the season. Pacers now 2 is their magic number to get into the 4-5 bracket for sure, and 3 is their magic number for home court advantage. Well, much more on Locked On Pacers.
The Pacers are such an interesting team because they're good, right? Like on paper, they're good. You see it. You see some games from the Pacers. They look really good at times, but maybe I'm tripping. I don't think they're a threat for anything in the East for real. They probably will make it to the second round. I got them as a second round exit. Depending on what that 4-5 matchup ends up being, how do you feel about the Pacers, Swipe?
Yeah, could be. That sucks for them, though, because they've obviously a really good team, but they'd be stuck playing. Well, they'd be playing Cleveland. I actually think that could be a sneaky series where they could win. I could see it being 2-2. If everybody's healthy, imagining it could be a 2-2 series and going into game 5, and that will be the game that determines it. But Cleveland wins out because they're probably a bit better, on the margins than they are. But the Patriots are a really good team, really good offense. I'm excited to see them play in the playoffs, honestly.
Sure, for sure. Next game, the Kings 125-102 over the Hornets with only 19 wins there. The Kings are trying to hold on to that 10th seed, which it doesn't look like the Phoenix Suns are going to catch up to, even though they're only 2 games behind, but you never know. Anything's possible in the Western Conference. In this game, Domantas Sabonis with 24 points, 22 from DeMar DeRozan, and 25 from Zach LaVine. I think it's key that you need big performances from all 3 of those guys if you want to do anything. I don't have a lot of faith in the West Coast Bulls, but how do you feel, Swipe?
West Coast Bulls, crazy. Yeah, I mean, try to stay in the plane if you can. It's probably going to be blow up summer for that team in about 2 months.
Yeah, I think it has to be. They're just in a difficult spot. I know they had to kind of do what they could with Fox winning out, but we'll see what happens with them.
Yeah, I mean, they got Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and Sabonis. Like, there's near all-star level players, and they're in the 10th seed because they're just not good. It's not a good fit. And they got Malik Monk also too coming off the bench. That mix doesn't work. They're gonna have to change it.
Yeah, for sure. The Detroit Pistons 117-105 over the Toronto Raptors. This right now is the team that the Indiana Pacers would play in that 4-5 matchup. Call me crazy, but I think the Detroit Pistons could win that series if it comes down to it. But they win today. Arthur Thompson with 15 points. Tim Hardaway Jr. with 23. No Cade Cunningham in this game. How are you feeling about this game?
Look, shout out Detroit, man. Like, one of the best stories of the year, being able to come back and have a win profile like this where they beat some really good teams. They played well. They have an identity. They're physical. They're strong. Dennis Schroeder, after leaving the Nets and then after leaving the Warriors, ends up there. And he's a good player. He's a really nice backup point guard while Cade kind of sitting out. So really good win for them.
Yeah. Last game of the night, my Chicago Bulls 118-113 over the Portland Trailblazers. Josh Giddey gets another triple-double. Kobe White and Nikola Vucevic both score over 30 points in this game. Please, Swiper, tell me you got something positive to say about my Bulls, man.
Yeah. Matis. Yeah. I think you got a future star.
Yeah, he's good.
I think Kobe White looks really good. He's going to look really good in Orlando next year. I think Josh Giddey
said in Orlando.
Josh Giddey looks really good. Looks like a real player. Like 19 rebounds from him today.
Yeah,
that's a really good player. Like, you got some nice core. Vooch, we'll see what y'all end up doing with him, but he's still a solid player to have. Patrick Williams, you seem to be completely out of your rotation for sure. Like, in terms of stamped, I don't know what y'all gonna do with him, but maybe he makes a.
You try to get Ayo Dosunmu from us at the beginning of this year. Can we sell you a slightly used?
No, it's still Ayo. It's still Ayo. No. You don't need. You don't even need Ayo. You don't even want Ayo. Y'all show no appreciation to Ayo in any way, shape, or form. No, you're paying him nothing. He's making $7 million a year, 24 years old. Come to death row and get paid. You don't want your producer dancing all in the video, being all up in your songs. Come to Mile High.
That's hilarious, man. But no, I'm proud of my Bulls, man. They play really good. They have one of the best, I think, a top 6 record since the All-Star break. But the Bulls, I love the way they've been playing. I have no problem with them on the court. It's just that I with everybody in the play-in, the Miami Heat's playing better, the Orlando Magic are playing better. I don't know if they're gonna really have a realistic chance to come out that play-in, but that's what the play-in is for. You never know who can win one game, and we'll see what happens there. But 118-113 over the Portland Trailblazers. I hate how close that game was, but it is what it is there. Anything left, Swipe, before we get out of here tonight, man?
No, I saw Denny Avia, another freaking amazing game, 37 points and 11 rebounds.
He's so good, bro. He's so good, man.
Yeah, out of nowhere, by the way. Delano Blanton with him as well today. I mean, Denny Avia, Donovan Clingan, Shaden Sharp, and then on top of that, Scoot Henderson, they have a Tumani Kamara. They have a really nice core. So shout out to the Blazers.
Absolutely. But yeah, that's it for us for tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in to Locked On NBA Game Night. Make sure you go to lockedondaily.com where you can sign up for your daily newsletter of your favorite Locked On podcast. You can do it all right there. For Swiper, I'm Hayes. This has been Locked On NBA Game Night, and we'll see you guys next Friday. Peace, y'all.